On the truth train, Gypsy Rose's lies are considered especially heinous. In the Gypverse, the dedicated creators who investigate Gypsy Rose Blanchard's case are members of the truth train. These are their stories.
She smiled for the cameras, played the victim card. Wheelchair princess in a house of fraud. Mama's little girl with the pills and the pain, but the truth was poison running through her veins. Whispers in.
Parker's pooping again! He's pooping again!
Hello, how are you today, bitch? I hope you're having a good day. I hope everything's going well. First and foremost, I want to thank my members for the support of the channel and being there for me. Several of you have been with me from the very beginning, and I really appreciate that. And I just want to make sure that I'm giving the glory to all my members that they deserve. You know what I'm saying? I love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It really is truly appreciated. And I just hope that you stick around. Stay being a member. You know, I could use some new mods. If anybody wants to be a mod, let me know. Okay? Just because I have a few, but, you know, when they're not there, other people could be. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anyone to feel completely obligated to it. But anyways, with that being said, how is everybody doing? How are your fur babies doing? You know? Mine are doing good. They're always doing good. Oh, and if you're looking at me and you're thinking, oh my God, you got some new glistening powder? Oh, I accidentally broke the fucker, okay? And it went everywhere again. I did it again. This is the second time. There's something wrong. You do it once and it happens. Don't do it again. So what do? I do it again. I'm just saying. So now I'm covered in glitter. Whatever. And I ate it. I have glitter in my mouth. Okay? All for content. You know what I'm saying? For you guys. Because I love being narcissistic about it. Welcome back to Baby Girl's World. And, you know, obviously, this is my world. I'm your host, Baby Girl. And I like to cover narcissistic fucking train wrecks on the internet. Usually, they don't have to be narcissistic, but that is a really good point that I like to investigate and learn about, if you will. So lately, though, I've been battling with my low self-esteem. I know, it's horrible. I shouldn't feed into it, but I have been because, you know, my videos about the Gypsy Rose Blanchard haven't been getting pushed out at all. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. So I guess, I don't know. I'm trying my best to figure it out. I hope you guys enjoy the videos that I do. And yeah, that's that. I just wanted to mention that because, you know, I worked really hard on all this, and I'm not saying it to be mean. It's not about money to me. It's not about that. It's about the views of getting out the truth of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. If I'm not getting hardly any views, how am I pushing the truth? And I do send these to certain people that I have lists of, but it's like I'm hoping that my videos reach somebody or help somebody, or you know what I'm saying? I'm also here as a creator that I like my audience. I love my community. I love all my subscribers. I mean, it's not like weird to me because I don't have any family. So you guys are my family other than my fiance and my dog. I mean, so I come on here and I have like a homey vibe, a home feeling with you guys. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just glad to be here. And I will never stop. I'm not going to stop. Don't even think I'm going to stop making content on the Gypsy Rose Blanchard. She's like a disease, okay? And I have to keep feeding it to keep it, you know, at bay. I have to keep making Gypsy Rose content until all of this becomes mainstream and everybody knows what a piece of shit liar she is. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop because of this right here. You know what? There's another case that I found that is just like the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case that happened after she got out of prison, mind you. This is getting out of control. There's been several of these cases, and I feel like they all have Gypsy Rose Blanchard in the back of their minds saying, oh, well, you know, if I just have my boyfriend do it, I'll probably only get like 10 years. No, bitch. They're cracking down on the shit now. Thank God, you know. And they're eerily similar. I mean, not completely, but you'll hear the story. A 16-year-old and her 28-year-old boyfriend were arrested at a Motel 6 when police seen a car that was associated with her because, well, she's 16 and doesn't think like, oh yeah, they're gonna know the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, duh. They were both charged on 3 counts of murder because when the police finally, after 3 wellness checks, got on to, because this is the difference between this case and the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case. David Blanchard tried to say that the cop wouldn't let him go in there. Now, no cop in his right mind is going to say, okay, we've got a girl missing and we've got threats of violence and there could be an emergent situation of imminent danger in this home right now. They are not going to tell you to go and invade the crime scene through a window that you must have went through like a ninja because nothing was disturbed. Okay, so your story is bullshit, David Blanchard. I keep calling you Dan, but you're David. Your story was bullshit, and I called you out on it. But in this case, they didn't have a threat of imminent danger because the reason I say that it was imminent danger is because there was those Facebook posts from Gypsy Rose pretending to be the monster of the situation, which was Nick Godejohn. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't him, it was her. She was trying to get him arrested, okay? She was trying to act like the kidnapped, poor, sweet girl. That's what she was trying to do. She thought she was going to go back home. Well, she was told otherwise, I guess. But this was also her adoptive mom and dad and grandmother that were found in the home, all shot. All of them were taken out with a bullet, basically. And they were charged with the 3 counts of murder, and she is now in juvenile detention awaiting trial. And her 28-year-old accomplice is being extradited to North Carolina soon here. So, I mean, watch this video and tell me what you guys think in the comments.
And her 28-year-old boyfriend, Devin Loving, murdered Star's parents, Travis and Kimberly Grant, and her grandmother, Sharon Grant, on May 7th. But Star, she was gone. Investigators eventually tracked down Star and Loving in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. That's where they were making ends meet, I guess, delivering food. Like nothing happened. Now family members are trying to make sense of this because get this, Star's cousin Britney says this is not the girl they know at all. And honestly, that's the part that sticks with people about a case like this. The shock. The how did no one see this coming feeling. You're telling me this didn't sound like the Star you knew?
Oh, no, not anything whatsoever. They had several animals that were killed as well. They didn't kill all of them.
Britney says Star's parents were planning on getting a restraining order against Loving, but they ended up dead. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any updates to this story. Let's get into it. I know that your family must be in shock right now with everything going on. How are you holding up?
Okay, it comes and goes in waves. One second I'm not thinking about it, and the next second I am, but I think that's pretty normal for the circumstances. I think we're all still in shock, and, until all of this is over, the investigation's over, the case has been cleared, I don't know that we're really going to be able to, kind of get over it, because right now there's still so much information coming in and out right now, it's overwhelming.
Brittany, you posted on Facebook that your aunt and uncle were missing, and your cousin was missing. You were asking people to message you to try and locate them. Can you take me through what was going on in your mind during that time? Like, what were you dealing with? What did you think was going on?
I automatically went to think the worst, just because even though it has been some time since I have seen that side of my family, they were still very active on social media, and they would reach out. My uncle would reach out to me all the time. She was always out with Star, her daughter, and posting photos. And when my grandmother reached out and said that someone had messaged her, she had 2 people message her and say, "Hey, we've not heard from Travis in over a week. He's been away from work, and that's not like him." He works full time and he never misses any days. And then same with Kim. They've all been missing. So it was Star and Kim and Travis and Sharon all missing at once. And then the information came out that Star had been in contact with this older gentleman and that he had bought her a burner phone. And, she would take a break lunch at work and they'd go meet up in the parking lot above her job. And once they told me that and I realized that my aunt and uncle were trying to put a restraining order on this man, I kind of put two and two together. It wasn't anything that I felt like I shouldn't have been the one to, pursue this, but I did. I was on the phone all day long with the Buckingham County Sheriff's Office. And the unfortunate part about all of this is the first week that Travis was missing, his coworkers did a welfare check and they went by the house several times and they put on the notes that there was a no contact. They weren't able to get anyone to answer the door. And at that time, they were already deceased in the home. So more time passed, and that's when I finally contacted them. And I was like, listen, there's way too many leads on this. There's way too many, missing people. I said, at this point, you need to break the door down. And it took a very long time for them to get a search warrant. And I was told, they were going to give me a call back. Once they entered the home, I never got a call back. So I waited. I slept through the night, woke up the next morning, and Travis's biological daughter actually went over to the home and found the massacre inside of the home. And seen what had happened inside of there. And so then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to call the sheriff's department and see what's going on. And they were like, we weren't going to call and tell you yet. It's still under investigation. But yes, we found all three of them deceased and Star is not there.
Britney, I'm so sorry. What was your reaction to hearing this news besides just full out shock that this was happening?
At first, I was like, okay, are they on vacation? And I was like, they're not on vacation because Travis would have put in PTO for his job. I'm like, so that counts everything out. Also, the fact that their two vehicles were at home, it's like, how would four of them even get to vacation if they were going on vacation? Right. And then I was like, okay, well, has my cousin been caught in a sex trafficking ring? That's a huge thing nowadays. And she got this burner phone from a man, and it's like, okay, well, what could it be? And then when I found out that my aunt and uncle were trying to put the restraining order on the man and that they found the three of them deceased in the home and Star and this gentleman were nowhere to be located, it kind of dawned on me. I was like, okay, and that's when you put two and two together. You're like, okay, you have three people dead, two people missing. It kind of adds up. It's very shocking.
And tell me about your Aunt Kimberly and Uncle Travis and his mother Sharon. What kind of family were they? Tell me about them as people and as a family.
They were amazing people. They were godly people. They kept Star in Christian summer camps, and they were constantly going to church. They were just a light to be around. They worked very hard, making sure they provided the best life that they could for Star. We all have grown up a little on the rough side of things, and we've all experienced poverty. And with that being said, they have done nothing but work their butts off to provide a good life for them. And Travis's mom was in bad health, and he ended up making an extension on their home so that she could move in and live with them. So he took over taking care of his mother. And my aunt, she had trouble conceiving children at first in her life, and Star was an absolute miracle baby. And so whenever she had Star, it's like the wheels started turning in her head and she became super mom. They did everything with that kid, the adventures, the experiences, the things that they did for her and just how they were as parents. It's shocking because, they were always happy, and Star as well. She was just a very outgoing girl. It definitely runs in the family for awesome personalities. My aunt had an awesome personality. Star was absolutely an amazing little girl growing up. And Travis, he was one of the coolest dudes you'd ever meet.
Brittany, this doesn't sound like a family that would have this kind of tragedy. I mean, Star, this does not sound like, and I've seen you say, you told people you don't want them to think of Star as this monster right now. Tell me, how is this all adding up in your head? The only thing I can think of is that, Star hit that age to becoming an early adult. And at that age, everyone is looking for love. Everyone is looking, towards their future. And my thought is that she had this one man interested in her and she took it and ran with it. And being 16, she's not going to see the red flags in a 28-year-old man like most adults would. She thought, oh, I have this older man that's interested in me. This is going to be the love of my life. And the unfortunate part is we don't know if she was in danger, if she was being threatened by him, if there was any grooming or coercion going on. But just the simple fact that you get a 16-year-old a burner phone tells pretty much everything that needs to be told. Well, how did Star meet a 28-year-old man? Do y'all know how that started? Yeah, she met him at work because my aunt and uncle did not allow her to have a phone, allow her to have social media or anything like that. So it was a situation where he was constantly going to her work and seeing her. And the sad part about it is Star's coworkers and her boss, they see this every single day. They knew of this. And it's like, had someone just said, hey, this doesn't seem right, I feel like all of this could have been avoided. But they waited too long. Did he raise his own red flags? The only thing that she basically, whenever I was on the phone with Star's boss, they explained the man to be, in other words, just dirty, rough around the edges, creepy, eerie. Brittany, why would they let this keep going? I mean, I guess she's 16, but still, I mean, right. nobody was shouting from the rooftops like, what is this guy doing around a 16-year-old? Right, exactly. It's like, why can't people speak up, right? Exactly. And, we don't know how long this had been going on for. And, as soon as her parents found out about it, they were like, no, this is not happening. And we're putting a restraining order on him. And before they were even able to do that, they killed him. The last day that Travis was at work, he told his boss and several coworkers that he was going to put a restraining order out. And then he never showed back up at work. Do you think he knew that there was a restraining order that was about to go out on him? Yes, they most definitely told Star that that's what they were doing. They ended up taking the phone from her. And then they told her that more than likely that's what they were doing. And then this is how the horrible tragedy played out. Do you have any idea where this gun came from? I have no idea, because my aunt and uncle's weapons were locked up in a safe.
So it's not like they were able to go inside their home and get any weapons from my family. So they brought their own weapon with them. It's weird because, when they showed up for the welfare check and they finally went inside the home, it was a situation where the doors were unlocked or windows were open. Everything was locked up. All the lights were off. The animals that were still alive in the home, you could hear them inside. And it's like they had several animals that were killed as well. They didn't kill all of them. They did leave like a mouse and a fish and one dog. But she had a lot of animals. So just the fact that they just locked the door and drove their way to Gatlinburg to have a grand old time afterwards is what is scariest.
Yeah, it's horrifying, honestly. And you're telling me this didn't sound like the Star you knew?
Oh no, not anything whatsoever. I mean, Star and Cam were like two peas in a pod. That was her little mini me. She was a wild free soul. Just a little gypsy, and I can relate to that. I'm just like it. Our personalities are very, very similar, and that's the kind of girl that Star was growing up. She was just a sweetheart, and she was funny, and always smiling. Just a beautiful soul. And her mother and Travis, they were the same way.
What were they doing in Gatlinburg? We've heard crazy stories like they were delivering on DoorDash.
Yes. So there was a lady that spoke up on Facebook and she said, "Oh my goodness, this was the same couple that gave me my DoorDash order the other night." And she was very, very worried because once they dropped the food off to her, she went inside and watched them, and they both got out of the car to deliver the food to her. And then when she went back inside her home, they wouldn't leave. They just stood around her property for some time. And at that point, she's like, "What are these people doing?" And then the next morning, they show up on the news for murder. So she's like, "Oh my goodness, I feel like my life was spared." To me, what it sounds like is they were on the run from the crime that they committed, and they were DoorDashing as a way to make a means to go place to place.
So you understand that you are wanted over North Carolina for kidnapping and then 3 counts of first-degree murder. You understand that they are wanting you for those?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Now he's waived his right to extradition, so we're going to be seeing him back down in North Carolina. One thing that I hear in sort of like what you're saying is that it does sound like because she was so young that she could have been groomed.
Right.
Is that what you're thinking happened?
Considering the nature of the relationship between the two, I definitely feel like that's a huge play in the matter of those two, especially her being so young and him being a lot older.
Did you share that that Star had waived her right to an attorney when she was questioned?
That's correct. And that is the weird part about it, is because at 16, you don't know your rights. I'm 32. I don't even know my rights.
How do you know she did?
It's like, so that was on the last report that they posted. It was disclosed. So it's like, how do you expect a 16-year-old to know her rights? Of course she's going to waive them.
I mean, as far as trying to come to grips with what's next, as far as trying to set up a funeral for your aunt and uncle and grandmother, tell me where you're at with that process. What's going on right now?
Yeah, we're not even close to that. You're talking 3 funerals that most people, can't even afford one. They are all sent to Winston-Salem for autopsies. They should be back in the Asheville area sometime early this week, that we were told. I know that just because of the crimes that were committed, it will not be a normal funeral session I'm assuming for most of them. So, and with Travis and his mother, I don't really know his side of the family. And I'm really hoping that we can figure something out for, their remains, because to my understanding, if no one comes forward to claim them, it has to be immediate family, then the state will take them and basically just throw them out. And it's like, no one wants that to happen. They all need to be together.
You posted this you said, "This is how I will always choose to remember my family, before headlines, before rumors. This is my family, my blood, my memories. No matter what comes from this investigation, this has shattered our family in ways words can't explain." I don't think people understand what it's like to watch your loved ones become a news story overnight. Why is this important? Why is this important for people to understand for you?
Because there's a lot of judgment in the world, and there is not enough forgiving.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. And through it all, they both deserve to be forgiven.
And that's what you're looking for, is forgiveness from people?
Yeah, clarity and forgiveness, and to be able to find the good out of the worst possible situations. And that's what this is. This is one of the worst possible cases that anyone could ever imagine going through. And if we continue to stay sour and bitter about this, we will never be able to have closure.
What does justice look like in that?
Closure. Just closure. Yeah, just closure. I feel like everyone has to pay the price for their actions, but it's a hard situation whenever you're close to God. You're supposed to forgive no matter what, and it's not our place to judge anyone. You just got to pray for both of them. I feel bad for both. I mean, we have 3 deceased family members. We have one family member that is in a lot of trouble and we may not ever see again. And then we have this man that who knows what he's all about and what he's been through, but everyone needs to find some sort of peace in this.
Britney, you're so amazing to be able to send that message out right now with all the pain you're dealing with. What is the memories that you're going to hold on to?
So when my aunt was pregnant with Star, Star's our miracle baby. My aunt lost several pregnancies before she conceived Star, and Star was stubborn in that belly. She was not wanting to come out. My Aunt Kim was ready, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get her out. I know exactly what to do. And my aunt, she taught me all my music tastes, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to put the headphones on your belly. I'm going to blare some music. I'm going to get that baby out. And it wasn't minutes, and she was in this world.
Unbelievable. Yeah. She was ready to come out.
Yeah, she was. Yep.
Is that the Star that you're going to remember?
Yeah, that's the only Star I knew. Yeah. She was a precious, funky little girl. Yeah, she was awesome. She's our Star.
I hear. Is that your mom over there? Well, tell her I'm so sorry that she's going through this.
Thank you.
And I hope that you guys get the closure that you do need. And we'll be watching this case carefully. And if you want to come back and talk to me about it as we sort of find out what went wrong, I'd love to hear it. But do you have anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I don't know if you are the praying type, but if you could, keep your thoughts and prayers for the family, that's all you can do right now.
Always, Brittany.
See how much you influence, Gypsy Rose Blanchard? Do you see? This is how you influence in your situation. Because everyone likes to infantilize you and think that you were some kind of child when this happened, when you were literally 23 fucking years old. I know you micro-deleted, but you still were above age. You cannot justify what you did. It was not right no matter how you fucking look at it. There's, in no way, shape, or form is unaliving someone okay. Ever. Ever. I mean, unless, I guess, if I caught someone doing stuff to one of my kids or something, I might have to go to jail for homicide. But that's besides the point. You didn't have any kids. You didn't have that kind of shit going on. So, Gypsy Rose, you will never be an influencer like you want to be on the TikTok or whatever platform you're using. You're not going to become an influencer. It's just not possible. No one is going to let you do that. We're trying our hardest to get you off of social media completely, Gypsy Rose. Now, remember how I said in the last video that Gypsy Rose might be going through some kind of psychosis? Well, I'm not a doctor, of course. This is all my opinion based off facts, based off stuff I found on the internet from public figures. This is all my speculation as well. But I believe she really stresses out and starts to do stuff. She starts to do stuff to her hair. We all know that, right? And if you want long hair, Gypsy Rose, why wouldn't you just wear one of the wigs? It's obvious you're not donating them or doing whatever you said you was doing with them. 'Cause we'll get to that. And so she's got this video here, and it looks to me like she's having some real stresses about her hair. Okay?
Hey, good morning, y'all. So, thank y'all all so much for trying to help me out with the extensions on my last video. Guess I'm just gonna have to put these in the drawer for now, because I just don't think that they'll be able to blend very well right now. I really wanted to have long hair for my vacation, but it's okay. So, I'm just gonna have to try to figure out styles for this. Like, I feel like this is my go-to, which is the bangs and then clips. So, I'm gonna try some headbands. Well, we're gonna pivot, and we're gonna do the best we can, okay? Anyway, thanks, guys. Bye.
And she really stresses about her looks and things like that, like really vain type behavior.
Like, imagine having your mother murdered and you come online like, you guys, I'm not going to have long hair for vacation. Life sucks. She's so fucking vain.
It's part of the sociopathy, I believe, because they're so infatuated with themselves that they're constantly like nitpicking at themselves. It's weird. And also she's now deleting all of the wig posts. Why?
Gypsy must be going through a manic episode right now, because not even a few hours after I made that video about her hair extensions and the wigs, she's deleted all of her wig videos. Even the one where she said she's ditching the wigs and prepping them for donating. So I guarantee she's trying to scrub it and pretend it never happened so she can be caught in her wigs again tomorrow. Come on.
And this is what I mean, though. She's completely out of touch with reality. Like, to her, it's real. To her, it's what life is. But it is not based on real reality. Okay? She's in her own delusion right now, is what I think. And that's why I say she's in psychosis. She has, I speculate she's got schizophrenia stemming from her microcephaly and the microdeletion, because she suffered with basically every fucking symptom otherwise. Why wouldn't she suffer from that? And you can't have psychosis without having schizophrenia. So she can't just go through psychosis without having something like a baseline. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's got to be like bipolar or whatever. Even BPD can go through psychosis, borderline personality disorder. But Gypsy Rose, do you hear yourself? Do you hear yourself? I want to know that. You sound insane. Okay, I know that's probably 90% of what you say sounds insane. I say, yes, you're fucking insane. I'm contemplating whether or not Gypsy Rose is insane. Yeah, you're insane, bitch. Delulu. Gone. She's gone.
Hey, y'all. So normally I don't splurge at Sephora unless it's with other people's money. You guys have been giving me money, so let's get into it. So fun fact, I've been dating my foundations. Like, some would take me out to dinner, some would take me out for drinks, but I finally found one with full coverage from my past. It goes on thick and cakey, and it really says, hey, I murdered my mother because she wouldn't let me have a boyfriend. So next is this concealer. It's really good at covering dark circles, bad decisions, evidence. You know, I really wanted a setting spray because unlike my family, my makeup is here to stay. I just really love a natural finish. Like how I naturally avoid accountability. I'm not sure if I like this highlighter because it really highlights my bad behaviors. Last but not least, I got some Tarte tubing mascara. And you would think that I would thank my mother for being able to wear mascara, because if it wasn't for my mother getting me that eye surgery, I would be blind as a bat. But I villainize my mother any chance I get because she wouldn't let me have a boyfriend. That's why I had her stabbed to death, but I lied about being medically abused because it got me a plea deal. So I only had to go to prison for like 8.5 years. And now I'm out, and you guys are giving me money, and I get to spend it on makeup. Fucking love my life. You guys should, like, murder your mother. It works out great.
By the way, honey, hair extensions, no. There was business in the front, party in the back. It was a mullet on a mullet with a mullet. I'm saying. It was bad. All right? Like, I just got my hair down to shoulder length, and I could do the extensions now. But when you have short hair, you can't do it. It's just not, it doesn't look right. Don't look right. You're not going to have the it girl look like you're trying to have with that in. You're going to have the mullet look. Nonetheless, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, nothing takes away from the fact that you unalived your own mother. That you are a brutal killer. That you planned a murder for 2 to 3 years. And you expect anybody to take you seriously as an influencer? And then you get out and you lie and lie and lie. And as we're finding out the truth, because none of this could go through the court system, so we become the investigators and we start looking through everything. Fancy comes out with the fucking medical report, and that's when everything blew up. Like, oh, Gypsy, you're a fucking bitch. We knew it. We figured it out. And we put all the pieces together ourselves. And you sat there and continued to lie and look stupid when we had literal fucking proof in your face. And you were still going, no, that's not it. Sorry. Yeah, well, bitch, it is. Wake up. And at this point, no one cares. No one cares. No one cares about you anymore. Be done with it. And then you go and you write a book, and also because of the book being so full of lies, you had to rewrite it, put more lies in, okay, or take some lies out, put more in, or whatever. And you completely demonize your own mother. Who does that, especially after you brutally took her life? You are a scumbag, bitch, and that's never going to change. It's not. Now you're influencing teachers. Oh my God, bitch. You have a literal class of students doing your supposed Gypsy Rose trend dance. It's not a trending dance. It's a dance that you used to lure and seduce and groom a boy with autism to unalive your own mother. That's what that is. That is not something that a teacher should be showing her kids at the school to do. And we were showing those FOIA documents, not for them to become a trend, okay? But to show you people how she deliberately seduced and groomed this man to commit a crime. Unbelievable, nasty ass crime. She did this to him.
This is when Gypsy Rose Blanchard really becomes an issue for me. Not only is she influencing the people here on the internet and TikTok particularly, but the youth here on the internet, but now she's influencing our teachers. What do our teachers do? They teach the youth, our children. I came across a video today that I'm about to share with you of a competitive dance team, which looked to be like middle school age children, if I had to guess, and they are doing the Gypsy Rose dance trend that I'm sure a lot of them have seen here on TikTok. Let me show you. After I'd seen that, I went to their TikTok page, and sure enough, they have already deleted the video. They only have one single video, and in this one single video, the comment section is already turned off. I would imagine they are getting attacked by people here on TikTok because of what they posted. I want to make something very clear. I know a lot of people have become super desensitized because of the internet in general, but Gypsy Rose Blanchard used that dance trend that y'all taught those children to do to influence and manipulate a disabled man to commit a horrendous crime against her own mother. Whether she was abused or not, it is still wrong. Anyways, have y'all seen that video? What's your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments. This is when Gypsy Rose Blanchard really becomes an issue for me. Not only is she influencing the people here on the internet and TikTok particularly, but the youth here on the internet, but now she's influencing our teachers. What do our teachers do? They teach the youth, our children. I came across a video today that I'm about to share with you of a competitive dance team, which looked to be like middle school age children, if I had to guess, and they are doing the Gypsy Rose dance trend that I'm sure a lot of them have seen here on TikTok. Let me show you. After I'd seen that, I went to their TikTok page, and sure enough, they have already deleted the video. They only have one single video, and in this one single video, the comment section is already turned off. I would imagine they are getting attacked by people here on TikTok because of what they posted. I want to make something very clear. I know a lot of people have become super desensitized because of the internet in general, but Gypsy Rose Blanchard used that dance trend that y'all taught those children to do.
But you take it, oh, it's a trend. She's dancing. Let's all do it. Come on. Wake up. That's not okay. Wow. I just can't even believe on Blue Ivy's internet, I have to hear this bullshit. Are you kidding me right now? It's just absolutely disgusting. I can't even. It's not a joke. What Gypsy Rose did is not a joke. It's not something to laugh about and play about. And have, we might have our hee-hee-ha-has, the stupid shit she does. We might have our hee-hee-ha-has about it, whatever. But to try to make a dance that was used for such a disgusting thing, to take that and make it into a trend is just absolutely... This teacher should be fired for that. That's totally obscene. And then some people will be like, why are you guys so obsessed with this case? I'm obsessed with this case because she got love all the way up until she got out of prison, and then everybody got a hold of the medical records, and Fancy went up and told us what was going on with the microdeletion. Then we figured out that everything she had done was necessary. Then we figured out why she had leukemia. She definitely did. That's why she had the Make-A-Wish trips and all that stuff. It was not a con. And then we find out it was more so Gypsy Rose pulling all the strings. Okay? And then we find out even more when the FOIA documents come out and we read all this proof totally going against everything that Gypsy Rose has put out there stating that that was truth. We find out the real truth and we've got the actual proof, and she still stands 10 toes down on her sob story. Okay? And it's fucking bullshit. We want her to be accountable for this. Okay? She was in prison and everybody was rooting for her to get out because we thought she was a victim. But in no way, shape, or form does ever being a victim justify unaliving someone as brutally as they did. I don't care. They didn't have to go that route. And she definitely could have called for help. And that should have been pointed out. But no, a plea deal was made almost instantly. Like it was just all planned out. And there's certain people that were involved that shouldn't have had their nose in shit that got Gypsy the sweet plea deal that she got. And Gypsy Rose is nothing but a two-faced lying bitch. I'm telling you. And she has no right being, or no problem, I should say, being all sweet and lovey and all as if they're your real friend or whatever. And then she turns her back on you just like she's done to all of her friends. Okay? I mean, I know we don't know exactly what did happen behind closed doors. Observing their behaviors went out. You know what I mean? But that's why she's two-faced. That's exactly why she's two-faced. She backstabs, and no pun intended, I shouldn't say that, her own mother. We're here to talk about this case, all right? Mostly because we had to be the investigators. And throughout. We had to be the ones putting it all together. Putting all the pieces together in this case. And finding it all out. And it's not just one person. It's a whole community of people that have been doing this and all have credit somewhere in between. Whether it was reporting on it, whether it was learning about it, whether it was finding the truth, whatever. Inadvertently, we all worked together. We didn't realize it, but we did. Now, of course, there's some beef between creators and there's arguments. I don't know. I'm staying out of it. I mean, Gypsy Rose, you could have been tried even if there was no body with all that circumstantial evidence. There wouldn't even have to be any factual evidence at all. With all the circumstantial evidence that there is in this case, you could have been tried without a body even being there and gone to prison for life. So this plea deal was a lifesaver for you. I don't see anybody ever get anything like that. That's insanity.
Gypsy thinks we're all jealous of her because we constantly talk about her, but that's not the case. We're here to spread factual information and to spread awareness for justice for Dee Dee Blanchard that was not served in Gypsy's time frame because she only served 8 years, while Nicholas Godejohn is serving a life sentence when Gypsy was the mastermind behind the whole entire thing. You see, this whole persona and idea was all created by Gypsy. Now, of course, Dee Dee loved and cared for her daughter and wanted to know what was wrong with her daughter from the beginning. And then, of course, she found out the microdeletion. But we truly, honestly don't know what happened behind closed doors. We honestly don't know if, Gypsy was hitting on Dee Dee or Dee Dee was doing wrong things to Gypsy. But we can prove points and facts by the information that we have now. And I want to say, in my opinion, for educational purposes only, I do not believe that Dee Dee ever hurt Gypsy or harmed Gypsy in any type of way. Now, Gypsy, on the other hand, I think could have possibly been harming Dee Dee towards the end because, as you can tell in multiple pictures, they're a happy mother-daughter relationship. They go to Disney. They do all these little things together, and they look perfectly fine. They're normal. Like, they go out together. You can see people looking at them in the background like they are totally a normal mother-daughter relationship. But the scary part is whatever happened behind closed doors with Gypsy and Dee Dee, like towards the end. Because we all know that she manipulated Nick to come to her house to help her with a deed, which was taking the life of her mother. Now, we know that Nicholas, was involved at some point and he cut his finger and they went to the bathroom to wash it off. Like, just take a look at this picture, for instance. There was a lot of blood in the bathroom, but apparently Gypsy tried to clean it up. But with the forensics, they could identify the blood that was left over, the residue. And you could see there's a pin. There's like nails of some sort, like something broke off, like it looks like a lock of some sort. I don't know. This is just for educational purposes only. But you can see that there's antibacterial soap, there's spray, and once again, like some kind of cough medicine. But these are the paper towels that did have blood on them as well. And that is why one of my theories is the fact that Nick did not run to the kitchen to clean himself up after he got cut. He went to the bathroom. Now, before I get ahead of myself, because I ramble a lot and I haven't made a Gypsy content video in a while because I'm pregnant, but you see this picture as well. And this is in the living room where you can see the couch and the picture that is hung on the wall behind the couch that is supposedly infamous. Gypsy's holding or has a Tinkerbell bag. She loves Tinkerbell, and there it is behind her. She said she wanted to be Tinkerbell. And kind of Gypsy and Dee Dee have like similar matching gowns. And then the playhouse, which I want to try to find that in the crime scene, but I can't find it. And then it's just like, look, there's light shining through the windows. And that's one thing that didn't happen until after Gypsy got caught.
And as you can tell right here in 2012, there was no coverings on the window. And then this was just an updated picture of the house in 2022. Now, I'm saying this because I think that Dee Dee or Gypsy didn't hang up anything in the windows until after the fact that Dee Dee found out she was doing all these nasty things on the internet and didn't want anybody to see inside the house, or the fact that Gypsy did it herself. Who knows? But she also purposely adds things to the scene to make it more appealing to a certain person, like the baseball cap that she left in the hallway. Like they could have easily taken it with them, but she didn't. She purposely left it there. And I think that this is droplets of blood staining on the carpet because she did clean up the carpet. Nick specified that in the interview. But my point is that we are here to spread factual information and get justice for Dee Dee, no matter how much Gypsy Rose hates the fact that we still talk about this case to this day because it did not get the justice. The system that they had in that county, in that state, was corrupt. We all know this. And this crime scene should have been taken more serious and more into depth because we find things that just scream red flags, and I find things that scream red flags to me. But that's besides the point, and that's why we're here to debunk and try to point out the facts and the information. And it's as simple as Gypsy taking things from the crime scene and having them as a trophy for herself. Now, if you'd like to continue for me to continue on with these videos, just please give me the support and the likes and the follows because I'm pregnant and I'm still into this stuff. I just haven't been making a lot of content, but you know, you got to obey the master.
Then all of a sudden, Gypsy Rose, what does she do? She starts reporting videos because God forbid anybody talk about your ass. Now, I agree with that, Winebox guy. I love him. His take on things, amazing. Okay? I don't like the use of the R word, but I do like him. And I love his cunt bags, and I want one. You know, I agree with him. This is fair use. And if I'm using your TikTok videos, bitch, you can't do shit to me on YouTube. So there. And that's all I'm doing here. Talking about your TikToks. You got your minions following behind you, attacking creators. And that's bullshit, dude. We are actually putting a lot of effort and time into investigating the case of what you did to your mother, and you can't stand it because you didn't want that shit to get out. Well, guess what, honey? We're going to keep pushing out the truth no matter how hard you hit our videos. I don't care. I don't care. I believe, like I've said, that Gypsy Rose is a sociopath, so she doesn't have any shame. She doesn't give a shit about shit, and none of this even really matters to her as long as she's getting what she wants and desires, right? Well, we need to change that because this is all why I believe that Gypsy Rose has schizophrenia, because of all her different delusions, all her different hallucinations that she swears aren't there, but are, part of her story. It's almost like sadistic in a way, like sadomasochists, where they like to inflict pain on others. That's what I think Gypsy Rose likes to do to all of us. And she will do it however she can. She enjoys the pain in herself, but she also enjoys watching us get put through pain, or whoever she's messing around with, or whatever. She enjoys the chaos, the drama, the heat, all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me. You shouldn't even be out of prison. You should be there for life. Not sitting out here trying to be some fucking influencer, bitch. And striking channels like you know what you're doing. You're going to ruin your YouTube career completely, even though you don't really have one. But I'm just saying. I digress. So, Gypsy Rose, I don't think you fully understand. We are always going to speak the truth on you. Gypsy Rose's entire family has lied. Rod sat there in the interview room and straight up lied after he said in an interview on one of the fucking documentaries, we were just going by what her mama said, that she had the muscular dystrophy, her legs would go weak. Then you go ahead and tell the real truth in the interrogation room. That, you know what I'm saying?
When Gypsy was around 7, that was the first time I saw her in a wheelchair. They came
Really?
to visit her and Dee Dee. I would ask her what's wrong with her legs. Is it really that bad? What's the diagnosis? Dee Dee told me that she's got muscular dystrophy.
Is that what she said?
Her legs, muscles are going to eventually quit working. I looked at Dee Dee about it, and she's like, her condition is not like a critical condition right now. Sometimes her legs hurt and she's got to use the wheelchair. And I assumed over the years after they moved away that the condition got extensively worse. And That was just it. I was never having an inclination that she was actually making her stay in a wheelchair for whatever reason.
Ain't that something? Who would have thought that Rod Blanchard lies just as much as his daughter, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, does? In my opinion, that's facts, but this for having purposes only, honey, but it ain't all alleged. He a lying motherfucker for a check, too.
Now, to prove once again my psychosis theory, in one of the FOIA videos, she talks about her delusions and her, reality being different than other people's. And she's lied to all of us and blah, blah, blah. So she knew her age also, mind you. In the interrogation, she spells her last name wrong twice, for one thing. And then she goes ahead with this elaborate, weird-ass story between her birthday being she was born in 1995, but it says 1991, blah, blah, blah. But the real birth date is 1991. But she knew that. She knew what that was all about, but she wasn't going to say anything. And you know what, though? I do have... Okay, because Nick and Gypsy were not a great combination. We all could see that a mile away. They both kind of fed off of each other's delusions and, whatever. And I think that's what, fueled the fire between them and fueled the fire for him to come and do what he was going to do. It was like a fantasy. It was like a, white knight coming to save his princess type shit. But, it, really was, they weren't all there at the time.
This video has two pieces in it that show Gypsy lied to us, the media, and the courts. And this video was recorded about 28 days before the crime. And I would like to remind y'all that she told Dr. Phil, "My mommy just lied so much about my age, I didn't know what age I was." I'd also like to remind y'all of this little piece of information.
Okay, so what is the correct spelling of your first name?
Gypsyrose. My middle name is A.
Okay.
And the last name is Blanchard.
Blanchard is Blanchard. Okay. Okay. All right. And your date of birth, Gypsy?
Is 7/27/1995. I'm sure they have 91 because.
So you just witnessed two lies. One, she tells the detective that her birthday is actually 1995 and tries to explain away why her hospital bracelet says 1991, even though she is indeed born in 1991 and knows that. But you also heard her say herself the spelling of her name. The first time, she spells it without an E on the end. The second time, she adds the E. And let's get to the proof that she knew her age.
Like my little girl side is a 10-year-old. I'm 19. My evil side is also 19. So I'm 23. So just confusing.
The other piece of this video that I would like to point out, she is talking about all of her personalities. And multiple times, we have heard her say herself, "Oh, Nick introduced the multiple personalities. It was Nick's idea." We even have Nick saying it was Nick's idea. But I want you to listen to what she says, where she says she first let her other personalities out and it confused him, which means this was something she started. Let's roll the clip.
No, it is all of me. It's not someone else or whatever. It is all of me, just different parts of me. And whenever me and your balance side was starting to first date, I would let some of those other sides out. It would get him confused or get you confused, and that's when I just had to explain. I have a lot of parts inside me that they sometimes get out, and it can be confusing, but it's important to treat each one individually.
How many more lies or little nuggets of information do you think we are going to find in these videos that completely deflate her entire narrative and story? This video has...
I don't think anyways. And they had a delusional mindset together. They were kind of feeding off each other. But then, you know what, though? Just a theory here. Just a theory. Dan Glidewell, he could have been the one in the raincoat, because I think there were times that, you know, maybe him and Gypsy Rose discussed something like this. I mean, we talked about it possibly being David Blanchard, but now that I think about it, it might have been Dan Glidewell, because he was, you know, kind of saying things that were kind of cryptic. How do you ever say it? You know, not easy to understand. I believe that Dan was trying to rat Gypsy out, though, and that's why he kind of had his friends called to have her picked up that one night. But now all of a sudden, she put the wigs videos back up.
I guess I was right last night about Gypsy being manic, because as of this morning, she's re-added all of the wig videos, but deleted the one where she donated to that GoFundMe. And then randomly brought up the podcast that I still don't believe is actually happening. There is no way you're just waiting on the right home. Just post your podcast everywhere. Why does it matter? No one's going to watch it like you think they're going to watch it. I just think she's making excuses. She spoke too soon, and now she is just going to make excuses until people just forget about it.
But the one that she said she was going to donate. So this is breaking news. So she's not showing you the donation video anymore, but the wig videos are back up and running. So she's going to probably start wearing the wigs again, or get new wigs, or whatever. Some kind of fucking something to get some balls rolling and people looking at her again. You know, whatever. We're not falling for it all the time, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I really believe that it could have been Dan Glidewell. Just by conversations that him and Gypsy had, the things that he said. If I can find him, I'll put him up here. And even her podcast is being advertised again. Isn't that funny? Gypsy, with the podcast is like, I would rather sit and watch a turd come out of someone's asshole than fucking sit and watch your podcast. Do you understand me? That's how bad I won't watch it. And people are noticing, like, because you keep on ranting about your fucking podcast, that they believe that you're kind of fucking, you're in like a manic mode or whatever. She's starting her image creation, her humanitarian side, you know. She's still delusional. She tries to say that it's just her haters. No, it's people that know what you did and the truth about what you did. We're not haters. Maybe she said her followers. I don't know. Whatever. I think they're all one and the same, okay? So now she's actually even putting out actual receipts. Okay? Why, I don't know. I don't think she understands what proof she needs to put out. We're never going to fully figure out what you did, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. At the end of the day, you and Nick are the ones that know. And remember, Gypsy Rose, the only reason that you have any infamy right now at all whatsoever is because of the fact that you unalived your own mother. And that will never go away. You will always be that person. You brutally took the life of your own mother. There's something vilely wrong with you. And why you are not sitting on death row right now is beyond me. Before we end this video, I would like to talk about a couple things. I just want to say something. When YouTube first started in the early 2010s, okay, the YouTubers didn't get paid at that time, right? They just made content because they wanted to put videos on the internet for people to see, right? And for a long time, it was like that. And then all of a sudden, they brought in the monetization, and then more and more creators started coming up, and yada, yada. So with that being said, yes, money is a big part of, not a big part, it's just a part of being a content creator, you know? But for me, in doing these videos, I don't care about that shit. Sometimes, some months, I don't even get paid, okay? Because you have to reach $100 thing. I can't explain it. I don't know. Oh. I started my channel to bring joy to other people, to talk about subjects that are important, to put out the truth about people that are being scammers and liars and stuff like that. That was my goal. I want to do good things with my place on the internet here. I want to help others. I want to make others' days. I love hearing your comments and, you know, like, many of these ones here, and I really am grateful for all of you. I just want you to know that from my heart, from my soul, I am very grateful for you. No matter if you're a subscriber or a member or whatever, I am so very grateful for you, and I'm so happy that you're here. And on this channel, you are so loved, because on this channel, we are not just people on the internet. We're a community of people on the internet, and we are a family. Right? Okay. Bring it in. Let's hug. Let's hug before the end of the video. Come on. All right. Hug your auntie. Hug your auntie. Okay. I love you. I will see you guys in the next one.
She smiled for the cameras, played the victim card. Wheelchair princess in a house of fraud. Mama's little girl with the pills and the pain, but the truth was poison running through her veins. Whispers in the night, text light up the screen. Kill her quick, make it look clean. You say you were trapped, but the roses you sent bloom red with blood on the day it all went. Gypsy Rose, your roses lie, petals fall where the dead girls die. For your videos playing loud and clear, show the girl who planned it year after year. You helped take her life, yeah, the proof is out. Lies on lies, now the whole world's watching now. Gypsy Rose, your story's cracked. Murder in the mirror, no turning back. No turning back. You danced on TikTok, laughing in the light, while mama's ghost screams through the endless night. Claimed you never knew, never said a word.